In this video, we will talking about the configuration of SNAT and DNAT. IAM supports two types of NAT. First, SNAT, which also called Source Network Address Translation. SNAT is used to convert the internal network segment to one interface address, so that the internal network device can access the internet. Second, DNAT, also called Destination Network Address Translation. DNAT is used by public network users to access the internal server indirectly by accessing the IAM1 address. Next, I will show you a simple SNAT case study. The IAM was deployed in root mode. To use SNAT must configure a static route. When the IP1 try to browse a website, SNAT will take effect. Replace the source's IP address IP1 to one address IP4. In the end, the user will use one's address IP4 to browse their website instead of using internal IP address IP1. For the DNAT case study, the company wants to publish internal server IP2 to a public network, to let the user able to access the server by using one IP address. When the user try to enter one IP address IP4 and port 8000, DNAT will take effect. It will replace the destination IP address and port from one address IP4 port 8000 to internal's server IP2 port 80. In the end, user able to access the internal server indirectly by using one IP address. How to configure SNAT? Go to System, Firewall, IPv4 SNAT, click on Add. Enter the policy name. Specify the one interface or select any one interface. You can select all IP range or specify a source IP address range. If there is more than one IP address on the one interface, you can specify one IP range to be used. Else, select map source IP to one interface IP is enough. Click on Advanced to configure more match clause for the SNAT. You can specify the destination address and protocol accordingly. It depends on the need. SNAT rule may be matched when destination address and protocol match. Click Commit to save the policy. How to configure DNAT basic rule? Go to IPv4 DNAT. Click on Add Basic Rule. Enter a policy name. Select a protocol TCP. Specify a destination port. Enter mapped IP, which is the internal server IP address. Enter the mapped port. Tick the Allow to bypass the firewall rule. Click Commit to save the policy. How to configure DNAT Advanced Rule? Click on Add Advanced Rule. Enter a policy name. You can select any one interface or specify the one interface. You can specify a source IP range from a public IP address, but it is recommended to select all. For the destination address, require to specify the one IP address that accesses by the user. Select the TCP protocol. Select all for the source port. Enter the destination port that accesses by the user. Enter mapped IP, which is the internal server IP address. Specify the mapped port. Tick Allow to bypass the firewall rule. Select the option to allow LAN users able to access the one IP. Click Commit to save the policy. Ensure Enable Allow while configured NAT rules. It used to bypass firewall rules on this policy. Enable LAN server accessible to internal user on one IP by NAT to allow internal users access the server IP through public IP. Select all for the DNAT source port to allow all source IP address access public IP. Avoid select all for the DNAT destination port, it will override others' DNAT policy.